Hello everyone, good day. Here we are again. So for today, we're going to talk about two trades. The trade that I took yesterday and the trade that I took today, this morning, during Asian session. And by the way, the pair that I'm talking about is Australian dollar versus JPY. Okay? So now, as usual, I start my day by checking our calendar. So yesterday, which is Tuesday, we had no news which is related to our pair, which is the Australian dollar versus JPY. So after checking the calendar, I check my chart in my daily time frame. So this was how it looks like yesterday morning. So as you can see, yesterday morning, this is how it looks like. My bias for that morning, for yesterday, was bullish because, as you can see, price was pushed strong going up. And for me, it seems like price is going to go up to reach for this daily buy-side liquidity. Okay? So now that we have our bias for that day, for yesterday, so the next thing I did was I went down to my one hour time frame, which is my narrative time frame. So as you can see, this is around, I woke up around 5 a.m. So this is how it looks like. And for this day, my bias is bullish. So I marked down my point of interest. So we have our point of interest here. We have our 1 hour FVG here and another one here. So I observe the price, and the next candle gave us another point of interest. This is another swing low here. So as you can see, I also marked my trading zone, which is from 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Then the middle line is the division of, is in the middle. If you go to our 5-minute time frame, you will see that we have three lines here: 7:30, 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. So this is the second quarter and the third quarter in our quarterly zone. So now I'm in my, I have my narrative now. Since my narrative is that since we are bullish for this day, I want price to either mitigate this area or this area before going up. So now that I have my narrative, I went down to my entry time frame, which is 5 minutes. So in this time frame, I'll just wait for time to get into our trading zone. Okay? So now let's continue. As you can see, price is dancing around. And now we are in our trading zone. So now what I'm waiting for is for price to come down here or here before going up. So let's continue. As you can see, price is now going down. Then it created our, there. It created our breaker block. So now we have our breaker block, this yellow box. Then we have our lower time frame stop hand. But we still don't have our higher time frame liquidity. So we're still waiting for our conditions to be completed. So now, let's continue. So as you can see, after this candle, price has mitigated our POI, which is now our higher time frame sweep, which is our 1 hour time frame. See? So now we already have our stop hunt for our lower time frame, and we also have our higher time frame sweep. Plus, we also have our breaker block. So now, all we have to wait for is for an FVG to be formed with a displacement candle and aligned inside our breaker block. So now, let's continue. So as you can see, now price has created this big ass candle, but still we don't have our FVG. So we wait for it, and boom. Now, as you can see, we have our FVG here, but also there is another FVG forming above. So during this time, I waited for the next candle. Although our another confirmation is already done because price has already broken above this breaker block. So now we wait for the next candle. So as you can see, we now have our confirmation complete. We have our stop hunt for our lower time frame. We have our sweep for our higher time frame. We have our FVG aligned with our breaker block, and price has broken above our breaker block. So during this time, I already marked my chart with my entry. So I pressed my buy limit order. So I'm waiting for price to tag as in. But I was kind of worried because we have this daily buy side liquidity here. But anyways, so I still proceed with this trade, and I enter this trade with a risk of 1 to 2 R. So I was risking 1 R to gain 2 R. Okay, so I hope that's clear now. So let's continue. Boom. So as you can see, this candle tagged us in. So during this time, my trade is already tagged in. So I'm in for this trade. So after this candle, I left it because there's nothing for me to do but to wait for either validation or invalidation, plus 2R or negative 1R. Okay, so let's continue. So price is still playing around our FVG, and it's a good sign because it's respecting our FVG. And our next candle, we are now gaining. Then the next candle push down. So I don't know with you guys, but maybe for some they would be scared. Yes, it's scary to see that price go against us, but as of this moment, there's nothing we can do but to wait for price to do its thing. It's either validation or invalidation. Okay, so let's continue. So as you can see, price is gaining again, going up, pushing up, and wow, see that? That's a very big candle going up. So during this time, it must feel very exciting because it's almost close to our target, but we're not yet done. So we have to wait until price hits our TP. So the next candle, it went down a little, went down more, and it danced around. And as you can see, Boom. So you might be shocked. You're thinking that all of my trades are winning trades. But to tell you honestly, this is the reality of day trading or trading. There's no such thing as 100% win rate. Okay? Let me make it clear that there is no such thing as 100% win rate in trading. It is normal to have losses. Okay? Now and then, we get our losses also, even if we analyze it, even if we use everything that we can to analyze. But the truth is, we have no control over the price. Price can do whatever it wants. What we have is our analysis, but that doesn't mean that it will happen 100%. Okay? So, I want to make it clear to our new traders or even the older ones who have traded a lot of times already that there is no such thing as 100% win rate. And don't look for that holy grail because there's no holy grail in trading. Okay? So, normally we will feel bad with this loss. So, I was negative 1R for this. With my risk to reward, I'm risking 1% of my account, so that's negative 1R for me. So yes, we are only human. We are not robots, so it's normal for us to feel down or to feel bad because of that losing trade. But we must control our emotions. We don't want to go inside with another trade again, to revenge trade or to be angry and wants to trade back right away. So to get it back, no. That's not how we do it. We don't revenge trade. We don't FOMO. Even though we are human, and I know we all have our feelings and emotions, but we have to control it. Okay, let's accept the fact that we lost this trade. We analyze where did we go wrong, why did we lose. So that's normal. Okay, so anyway, so for yesterday I was negative 1R for this one, but let's move on and go on with our trading life. So there's nothing we can do about it. So I did my journal. So I wrote all what I felt, what happened, my emotions, experience. And the important thing is, even though I lost this trade, I'm not so sad because I know that I followed the rules, I followed my conditions, we had complete conditions, and we had our bias. And I know that my bias was right, but sometimes you can't control the price. Price can do whatever it wants. So let's move forward. As you can see, let's go up to 1 hour time frame. So as you can see, after we were tagged out, price really went up. As you can see here. So even though I lost that trade, I still feel good because I know that my bias was right, which is bullish. Just so happened that after price hit this daily buy-side liquidity, price was pushed down to retrace one more time before going up. So, okay, we are -1 for yesterday. Okay, remember that. So, we move on. So, now, go back to our daily time frame. So, this was yesterday. Price ended up very bullish. So, that's okay. We lost a trade. So now, this morning when I woke up, the same the same routine. I check our calendar. So Wednesday for today. So this is what I saw. We have our news for New Zealand around 10 a.m. And then we have our CPI for USD in 8:30 during 8:30 p.m. later. So although I'm not affected by this because we are trading Australian dollar versus JPY. So now that I finished with checking the calendar, I went back to my chart. So I woke up around same time, 5 a.m. So now, when I woke up, this is what I saw. As you can see, price has already mitigated or swept our daily buy-side liquidity. So now this is our external range liquidity. Okay? So we have our ERL. Okay? So now we have our ERL. There. Okay? So we have our external range liquidity here, and price swept it. So for today, this morning, my bias was bearish because when price is above an old high, we look for shorts. And the opposite is if price is below an old low, then we look for longs. So for this morning, my bias was bearish or short. So after I got my bias, I went down to my 1 hour time frame, which is my narrative time frame and market structure. So this is how it looks like in our 1 hour time frame. Okay, so as you can see, this is what I saw during this morning. So we know that we have swept our buy side liquidity. So we are above it. Then, as you can see here, in 1 hour time frame, I saw this. Price had a big ass candle displacing this, which created our change in state of delivery. So as you can see, this gave me my positive assurance that my bias was really right, because price has already broken this section, which created our change in state of delivery. So now, I also mark this 1 hour fair value gap, which is also our point of interest because it's a higher time frame PDA. So now that I have this, I mark this as my 1 hour sell side liquidity here. Wait. So this is a swing low. This is another swing low. So I mark this as our 1 hour sell side liquidity. Then I also mark my trading zone at the same time, 7:30, 10:30 a.m. and 9 a.m. as our middle line. So now, as you can see, price is here. So let's move forward. As you can see, let's move on. Now that we're close to our time frame, our time zone, our trading zone. So after my 1 hour, I went down to my 5-minute time frame. Our 5-minute time frame is our entry time frame. Okay? So during this time, we have this. Also, we created this swing high here. So I marked this as our point of interest. Then I went down to my entry time frame, which is 5 minutes. So as you can see, we are close to our trading zone. So I saw this area. I saw this. So I marked it with our low resistance liquidity run. Okay, this can be our target for our trade. Okay, and also this one, our swing lows here. Okay, so now let's move on. So as you can see, price is playing around and we're close to our trading zone. So now we are in our trading zone. Okay, so I mark this. Since we are now in our trading zone, I mark this as our True Asian Open. You might ask why I mark this. Because I mark this because this is important. The True Asian Open is like our meter for premium and discount zone. Okay, so since we are bearish for today, so I want price to be above the Asian Open before going down. And while it is above it, then that's where I will look for entries because this is a premium zone going down. Okay, if we are bullish, then we want price to be below the Asian Open so we can ride along in our discount zone going to premium zone. Okay, just the opposite. So now, as you can see, price has entered our trading zone and we have mitigated this point of interest. So this is now our higher time frame sweep. So we mark this as our 1-hour sweep. Okay, so now we have our conditions. So first condition, we now have our higher time frame sweep. So now let's wait for the other conditions to follow. So now price is playing around. Then after a while, it created our, there we have our breaker block. This is the yellow box. And then price went down, then went up there. So it also created our lower time frame stop hunt. So as you can see, we now have our higher time frame sweep, our lower time frame stop hunt, we have our breaker block, and price is in our premium zone, which is ideal for us going down. Okay, so now I was waiting for my entry, which is we need our FVG to be formed, which is aligned with our breaker block. But then, as you can see, price broke our breaker block, but still we don't have our FVG. And I noticed that we have lots of long wicks here. So I'm thinking that it's hard for us to find our FVG. So I used my sniper entry, which is in 3-minute time frame, because sometimes if our higher time frame is so messy that we can't have our FVG, I go down to my 3-minute time frame to look for our FVG. So right on time, I saw this after this candle. FVG was formed, which is aligned inside our breaker block. So after this, when I saw this candle close, I automatically clicked my sell limit order. Okay, so this is our sell limit order. And normally, as what I told you, I only target 1:2 R, 1 to 2 R. But for this trade, since as you can see, our nearest sell side liquidity is here, and exactly it can give me a 1 to 3 R. So I decided, okay, let's go ahead with the 1 to 3 R. Then price dance around and then went down and then up. You might think that at this moment Okay, let me talk about this moment. For some, you might say, oh, damn, I was left by the price. So you might say, okay, let's get in here. So let me remind you that we don't do that. We don't FOMO, okay? We set our sell limit or buy limit if we are bullish. But for this time, this is sell limit because we're going down. So if price won't come back for us, then it is what it is. We just cancel the order, okay? We don't FOMO, we don't go after the price, we don't chase the price. We wait for the price to come to us. Just like what I told you before in my previous video, just like a lion waiting for his prey, or just like a hunter, okay? So for some, this might be a sad moment, or you might want to chase the price, but for me, I won't. I set my sell limit here. I'll wait for price here. Okay? So the next candle, it went down, then it went up, and boom. Now we are tagged in. Okay? So if you entered here, then you are already negative here because you chase the price. So the lesson there is do not chase the price. Let price come to you. Okay? Don't be afraid if you're left out. There's more trade in the market. Okay? So now we are in, officially in. So I'm risking another 1R. But my target for this time is 3R. Okay? So let's move on. So you can see, price went down and played around, then went down again. So during this time, I was relaxed and confident. I just left the price and leave it to do its thing. Okay? I don't feel the fear or scared because I knew that I followed all my conditions. It's either negative 1R again or plus 3R for this trade because I targeted 1 to 3. Okay? So now, let's proceed. As you can see, price went up and went up again. So don't be scared. As you can see, price is now going back to our target. And after a while, boom, bingo. Okay? So plus 3R for today. So as you can see, trading or day trading is like this. Okay? We don't have the holy grail. We don't have 100% win rate. But this is where you can see that our edge is our risk to reward. Okay? This is the importance of risk to reward. So I suggest you follow and do not change your risk to reward. Just follow it. Win or lose, just do it. Do it over and over again for every trade. If you want to target 1 to 2R, that's okay. If you want to target 1 to 3R, that's okay. But for me, I only target 1 to 2R, usually. But sometimes, I also target 1 to 3R. Okay? Because this is the only edge we have. So now, let me ask you. Yesterday, I was negative 1R, right? But now, what we have is plus 3R. Now, in total, I am negative 1. So, let's minus that with our positive 3R. So, I'm still plus 2R, right? So, you see, that's our edge. That's the beauty of risk to reward. Okay? So, you can try this at home. You get a coin. Then, you toss it 10 times with negative 1 or negative 1 and plus 2R. You'll see that the power of risk to reward is the only edge you have. Because in the end, even if you only win 3 times out of 10, you'd still end up winning. Okay? So I guess that's all for today. And I hope you got something from this video. You learned something. So I want to make this clear that the only edge we have in day trading or trading is our risk to reward. So we should follow it all the time. Okay? So that's all. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and to like my videos. And please click the notification bell so you get updated anytime that I have a new video. So please support this channel. So this is a new channel for me, but I really hope that I can make an impact in our trading world, that I can help some newbies or some people who wants to learn trading. Okay? So once again, this is me, AlfoxDayTrader, saying adios.